Right?
Gosh, that just made... I can't wait
right?
for them to be reunited, but I also can't wait for Itadori to be around the upperclassmen more, because I feel like the upperclassmen here are amazingly supportive and caring and
I agree.
aware of now obviously they're aware of kind of delicate subjects, and I just think they're really great, and I can't wait for Itadori to have moments with them and to even get to know the upperclassmen more. I feel like I barely really know anything about their techniques or what their relationships with each other are like when they've worked together for a while.
Mm-hmm. That was a really good Juju stroll. Like, it's like lighthearted and like the cooking thing, like you said, like we have to try it, you know? But like it's such a good way to make you like, oh shit, it's been a bit, you know? And they think that they think he's dead. They think that his legacy is meatballs. And
they're even still thinking about him in a way that makes them sad, but also they like having some memory or a part of him that they can share all together, even if it's meatballs. And
I thought that was a really good moment.
he's still thinking of them too. And I'm like, oh my god, friendship.
It makes like the thought of a reunion
that much sweeter and exciting.
Okay. Since we started touching on it, I think that should be the first thing we go back to, right? In the outro, we were talking about like how they included the bullying survey and how the teacher, we saw glimpses of some of the students who bullied him, and then the teacher said like, you and I both are going to be like living with this, atoning like for our, you know, lives.
The language
you broke Junpei's heart
was amazing, because Junpei was so focused on trying to understand how humans with hearts and emotions could be treating him, and then what he thought happened to his mom. You know, that was kind of his driving force to even getting wrapped up with Mahito, was his struggle with understanding how you could say that people are inherently good or have hearts that feel things and care for others. How can you say that they have that when they do such horrible things? And it's even nice in pairing with Nanami in this episode saying that no one is good or evil. Everyone's kind of a mix of both.
Yeah. It's I like I said, they didn't have to do it.
They didn't have to.
But the fact that they did is one of the reasons that I love this show so much.
It's like a death closure.
It's a death closure that like it's like he of course lives on, but like we both you this is your first time watching it. We're both pissed at the teacher when we saw how he was talking to Itadori, how he looked away from the bullying.
Just obviously he could have done something as the authority figure. He could have been aware, he could have been noticing his students, and to even like, I think what was like the nail in the coffin for him in terms of at first of my thoughts on the teacher was him being like, they were your friends, weren't they?
Yeah.
I was like, at least act like they were strangers. Don't you dare like talk about them like they were nice to each other.
Yeah.
That's just like even more awful to say to Junpei.
The thought of walking by, potentially seeing something and just kind of going on with your life, ignoring it, like the
girl example that they showed, the student that was taking the bullying survey, and she obviously had seen stuff but didn't do anything.
Just like you have the power to make a difference too, even if you're not a teacher and you're there physically stopping it happen, like letting that person know that there is still good in the world and that there's somebody there for them, even in the slightest instance, can completely change somebody's heart. And I think it is so powerful that they used that sequence here. Like
it's really not just these two people though, and the people that bullied Junpei. Any person who knew what was happening, who saw it, they are all responsible for what happened to Junpei's heart.
Yeah.
Because think about it in the way Itadori didn't know about the bullying. He didn't know anything. But he was a pleasant human. He was kind to Junpei. And he was curious about Junpei.
And you saw what that did for him.
Like, you don't even need to step in front of a bully. You can just be nice to the person in your own interactions with them, and that could make a huge difference. Because Junpei became so concentrated on the only interactions he was having with people other than his mother were horrible. No one was stepping in. No one was telling him he was a good guy. No one was like wanting to watch a movie with him. No one was there except for his mother.
And she, like, obviously has probably her own vices, her own problems, like, you know. But, like, man, I love this show so much, man. I'm so glad that they included that. I get emotional so easily sometimes, but that really hit me. Bullies suck. Anything I say about anti-bully is gonna be cheesy and cliche.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, but it's still true.
It's still true.
It's just...
Yeah. Bullying sucks. I've been there. One friend can make a difference.
Honestly, that is
one person
exactly
can make a
true.
difference.
It doesn't even need to be a friend. It could be a literal just acquaintance that sits next to you in class.
You don't know what
that,
people
like,
are going through.
asks
Be
you
nice to
like,
people.
Borrow a pencil and talks to you every single day, or maybe says, "Hi, how was your day? Oh, it's raining outside." Even just one person that like communicates with you on a pleasant, normal human level as you, a fellow human, and basically shows you your humanity and that they see you, is a world of difference.
Rest in peace, Junpei.
They got me like excited for a second here
is
by
he gonna
showing
move?
him
Is
again.
he gonna
Because I was like, oh, Mahito made the comment about it killed him so quickly. Obviously, he was a little tougher with the transfiguration, he said. But I was like, what if this is like Junpei redemption, comes back to life, you didn't actually kill him, he's gonna come in. Oh, maybe he was not even, it could have even been a situation where he wasn't even dead yet, but he uses his last bit of strength and fight and energy to save Itadori. That could have been great too.
I think the way they did it makes how they treated the rest of the episode and that bullying thing way stronger.
That, and also Itadori and his kind of internal debate on how do you lead everyone to a proper death.
How cool is that? We're halfway through like a first season of a show, of an anime. We've had the protagonist's initial goal and I guess the challenge of that goal and how potentially naive a goal like that could be if you haven't thought about it enough has been challenged to such a serious extent. He had to kill people today. And he does, like,
Nanami had faith he was going to do it too. I was wondering. I had a feeling that once the person said, "Please kill me," at that point, if someone has, basically their life has already been ripped away from them and they've been turned into a thing that is killing or attacking another human, don't make their soul go through that, you know?
I don't think that there was... I agree with you. For Itadori's sake, I don't think there was anything that made that better. Any justification he could make that made that better. And...
it doesn't hurt less, but
Yeah.
it was the right thing for him to do.
Yeah. It's like... one thing that I love, again, about the show is the facial expressions, bro.
I was really... a fan of Mahito's facial expressions during like when he was really getting knocked on, and you could tell he was kind of feeling it and worried about it.
Itadori's, like, when he first saw them and like heard them and like his eyebrows and the faces that he makes, then after everything happened, to say he's affected by this is the biggest understatement ever, but like I think it's awesome to see development and growth and potential for development and growth at this point in a series so early on. It strengthens the resolve, I think, potentially later on.
I was really a fan of Nanami in the death conversation, bringing up how Itadori shouldn't just let himself die early either. And if you think about it, in what is Itadori's situation with the Jujutsu sorcerers, it's basically to be a vessel until all of the fingers are consumed and then kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Itadori has proven it to some degree. I mean, Nanami seems like a very logical person. So it does surprise me to some degree that he would be so comfortable around Itadori and so have so much faith in Itadori at the same time. And so willing to be like, thank you for doing that, even though Itadori has a curse inside of him.
Yeah, I apologize for forgetting the actual line, but when Itadori and Nanami Sensei met, Itadori like was saying like, I'll prove it to you, like I'll prove to you like my resolve, my mission, and like who I am, you know. And I think we saw through like action and Nanami's speech in the moment that Nanami definitely has more trust in who Itadori is and becoming currently.
Yeah.
Yo, I really thought Nanami was about to die this episode.
When you first watched it?
Yeah. Like, in most anime, right? They show us, like, a crazy flashback sequence. It's, like, nice. Exploring his character, seeing, like, how he got to where he was today, you know? And then, like, I was like, God damn it, man. Then Itadori breaks through.
That would have been so much on Itadori. They literally gave us, here's a few episodes of Junpei, but also in these episodes, these few episodes, we're also going to be introducing you to Nanami.
Yeah.
And then here we're going to kill them both. Oh my gosh. What's Itadori to do?
I don't think it would have been the right move to do it narratively.
No.
I think
don't think
that
so either.
The way that it happened was amazing. I wouldn't change a thing. I think Nanami's words after that whole encounter were extremely necessary to Itadori. I get that Mahito escaped, but I wanted him to die so bad, but he got the shit beat out of him, so that's fine.
Clarifying question. It's not a spoiler because it was said in this episode. I'm just trying to wrap my head around Nanami can't do domain expansion. He never learned it, or he's incapable.
It's one thing he's never been able to do. It's the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery. Like, obviously,
I wonder if it's a mindset thing. Why he can't?
I don't think so. Okay, so
it's like a talent.
So I think it's implied that Jujutsu sorcery is in this world a bit, and in this world that the Jujutsu sorcery is a part of, there are even though we've seen it 3 times, right, in a short amount of time, relatively. A domain expansion is not something people can do.
It's a rare thing.
It's, oh my god, yeah. It's the peak of Jujutsu sorcery.
Gojo did talk about the sorcery even being a very innate kind of in the person when they're born talent.
Yeah.
And not really something that you can practice and get, like, kind of level up. I mean, you can to some degree, but not really where you can become more than you already destined to become with the ability that you were born with.
I mean, Nanami's grade A, right? Like, that, like, he's a good sorcerer. He's amazing. Like, he's fantastic. I definitely understand what, like, watching the show and how things have transpired. We've seen a few domain expansions.
It makes it more special and exciting.
Yes, not many people at all can do it, ever. Have been able to do it, ever.
Now I'm like, oh, are there any other characters that we've already met that can do it? I would assume that the principal of at least the other school maybe could.
I don't know, man.
But I don't know.
Gojo's the strongest.
He's like, yeah. Obviously, it seems like he's the strongest at the moment. I'd be curious to see if they're going to introduce people soon that are either at his level reaching his level or maybe even better than him. But story-wise, to have Nanami not be able to do it, amazing. Great writing. Thank you for that.
The art for Mahito's domain expansion. Oh my god, cool. Dude. It was so cool, terrifying. It was so badass.
And then him being so inspired to even try it.
Yeah.
He is going to be, if they don't squash him soon, he is, unfortunately, I mean, he's kind of the mirror to Itadori. He's the perfect,
match.
Perfect, yeah. They're both continuously kind of growing rapidly, with immense kind of power. And if they let him keep growing, keep perfecting, that's gonna be trouble. Obviously, if Nanami can't beat him, and Itadori probably at this moment couldn't do it without Sukuna getting involved.
Yo, that was a crazy moment, man.
I couldn't, it was one of those times where we're seeing a visual, but I can't necessarily tell if the other people around can see that visual. So I couldn't tell if Nanami could see it, but I understood after the fact.
After Nanami,
when Nanami was explaining that Mahito obviously went into Sukuna's soul instead of Sukuna coming out.
It wasn't even like a conscious thing. Like I know Itadori doesn't want to take credit for the save on Nanami, but if Itadori didn't force himself into that, which is nuts in itself, then he wouldn't. At that point, Mahito didn't have a choice. In his domain expansion, every hit touches one of his techniques, or idle transfiguration, like you are touching somebody's soul. Itadori is immediately in there, no choice but to touch Sukuna's soul for the second time. You fucked up, bro. You fucked up, bro. Sukuna was like, I don't even care if you live or die, bro.
I actually thought it would be an insta-kill.
I don't think it didn't seem like Sukuna was powering up and trying to deal the biggest attack ever. He was swatting a fly.
You
Yeah.
You lower thing. How dare you? Cast you aside, leave you with some punishment.
Sukuna's only interested in one thing right now.
Fushiguro.
Interesting.
And when he said that, I think I said during the show, I was like, that makes me excited for where this is going.
I didn't catch this my first time through, and it's probably nothing. When we had the rooftop battle with Nanami, he said the things that make you an adult, like losing your favorite item in your grocery store. Mm-hmm. In this episode, he went and he was like,
He said the convenience store didn't have what he wanted anymore.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, yeah, I understand you're a bakery, you do it. But I think, obviously, that experience of going to the bakery and helping out this person gave him some resolve, closure, happiness, to move forward with his life.
Anything,
yeah.
Even in possible face of death.
Yeah. He after that, he decided to call Gojo, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't need your thanks. Cool. I already got the thanks of others.
Yeah. I was scared for him. Really. I think one of the reasons is I don't know what to expect from this show. I can't. I for sure would never expect or have expected them to do the bullying scene.
I would have never expected that. In terms of killing off characters though, I think I'm never the person who assumes that that person's about to die. So I wasn't like, oh, they're going to kill Nanami here. Because I always assume that someone's going to come in and stop it and rescue, and they're not going to kill a main character. So that just makes when they do even more shocking and surprising and upsetting and emotional. I did not think Junpei was going to die.
Start of this episode, we're still in denial about Junpei's death, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, glimmer of hope, but no. So it's with every show, I'm never I'm always like, no, that they're not gonna kill that person, and then obviously devastation hits when they actually pick a character to kill. So I obviously was operating under the assumption that something was gonna happen. Didn't know what, but something was gonna happen, and Nanami was gonna survive.
I love this show, and I thought that was a great episode.
It was really good.
I'm excited to go forward. I think the best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come.
This was amazing. This is great. But I think there are amazing, amazing moments too this season. So I'm excited for you to see them.
The stroll made me feel like we're soon gonna get our reunion, and I am so hyped for it.
Maybe that's next season. You good?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around. Nanami can't do domain expansion. He never learned it, or he's incapable.
It's one thing he's never been able to do. It's the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around. Nanami can't do domain expansion. He never learned it, or he's incapable.
It's one thing he's never been able to do. It's the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery.